talk about the greatest scandal in the history of the US. I don't know if you are aware of, but before I even mention it, I don't know if you have a guess of what I'm about to say now. It's about USAID, USAID. I don't know. Have you been following the news?
I've been following it, and when I see the corruption in that US, when I see some of the stuff, some of the things that they are saying they are spending money on, huge, sometimes $50 million.
Barrister,
I,
excuse me. I have told
I
you
just
over and over. I've told you over and over again that the US is as corrupt as Nigeria. I told you that. Because I am a contractor, so I can tell you authoritatively that US is as corrupt as Nigeria. I only gave you the difference. The difference between the US corruption and that of Nigeria is that Nigeria their own corruption is so crude that that you just a public officer would just single-handedly sign out cash, transfer money from one account to the other, to his personal account, to the various accounts. That is the only difference. In the US, you just cannot do that. The system cannot allow you to do that. You are not, so the corruption is by proxy. So that is just the difference between the Nigerian corruption and that of the US. Other than that, I'm telling you, US is as corrupt as Nigeria. Other than that, there is no other difference between the Nigerian corruption and the US corruption. Their legislators are corrupt. What they do is that they collect gifts. They don't do this transfer cash or whatever. What they do is they donate money through campaigns to their campaigns. All those people, they bribe them through their campaigns by donating huge sums of money through campaign consistently. And they lavish them with gifts and send them on vacation, expensive vacations or whatever. So, and that is just it. Then, even this kickback you're talking of a thing, they do this kickback. If you notice this USAID, that's exactly all those money. You think all those countries they are paying all those monies to? Not all of them. They do that. Those money. Even Donald Trump even said that. That there's just no how they can be doing all these things if not that they are getting kickback.
Most of the money is going to the US officials who are
yeah, that is it. Their individual
the
bank accounts. That's just it.
They come to Nigeria with aid funds.
Correct.
And then give them a little and take everything.
This is unbelievable.
Our people are so corrupt that they are getting something. So what you take, it does not bother them.
It doesn't bother them.
Yeah, that's correct. After what you give them, they are taking their own.
Yes, because
they are not bothered.
Because what they are funding for, what they are using this money to fund in Nigeria or other countries that they are giving this aid, they are all based on corruption. Those things are not getting to the people, the recipients, the expected recipients of the aid. That is just the reality. A sort of look at, my God, this USAID, they sponsor including terrorism. Anyway, that is not surprising to me. But the only thing is that what is surprising to me, initially I used to think that all those evil that the US sponsors abroad, terrorism, because I've always known that US sponsors terrorism, sponsors all manner of overthrow of governments here and there, sponsoring of uprising or abroad. Look, US does that, but initially I thought it is something that the entire government, the entire system is aware of. So they do it collectively. But now I have this USAID have actually opened my eyes to a different way, that it has opened my eyes to a different thing, entirely different thought, that makes me believe that there is actually what we call the establishment. There is what establishment does something different from what the real administrators in government do. That most of them don't even know what the establishment is doing. Because what was this USAID, CIA is involved. They carry out CIA's operations abroad. They fund all those things or whatever.
Most of the officials are CIA agents. Anyway.
That is it. Do you know that this USAID, Obama's mother was once a staff of USAID?
Oh.
Obama's mother. You didn't see how much they channeled 80 million, how many $1 million they channeled, they paid to Clinton Foundation, Clinton and Hillary, even when Hillary was Secretary of State. Before she was Secretary of State, when the husband was the president, and when she was Secretary of State, how much they actually spent, they were actually paid into their accounts several times.
That George Soros received over 300 million from USAID. So some of the so-called philanthropic activities that he says he's doing for the liberals is it's not his money.
Of course.
It's the USAID money that he's about.
That is just, look at Hamas, for God's sake, the millions of dollars they have spent on a terrorist organization that have been a kind of have become a thorn in the flesh of Israel. Can you imagine a U.S. part of a U.S. government sponsoring terrorism against Israel, their greatest ally? I don't know what kind of hypocrisy
is this? You should know that the U.S. in many countries they play both ways. They encourage the government, encourage the opposition to foster this
crisis,
an atmosphere of crisis.
That's it.
That is their classic way of operating. They fund both people and clash their heads together. So there is a permanent and perpetual crisis in this particularly third world countries. That is the classic mode of operation that the U.S. does.
You see the reason why the U.S. actually, Donald Trump actually made U.S. to actually show their true color. People are saying, U.S. wasn't like this before, but for them, I've always told them, I said, this have always been the U.S. that everybody didn't know. The advent of Donald Trump only opened up what we didn't know about the U.S. U.S. have always been this, and that is justice. So Donald Trump made them to actually circumvent the system, to actually show that part of them that they have always been breaking the laws, going against their own beliefs and their policies and their laws.
Everybody was comfortable with it, both the receiving nations and the USAID officials and the CIA. It's like you go to our governor here, you go and visit the governor. The governor will call his aide and say, give this man 500,000. By the time you go out of there, you are going with 200,000. So those aides between themselves would have shared the 300,000. But you have lost nothing. So the system is good for you. You have gone and you have received.
This is just, Barrister, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I am telling you, this one just hold on, just get your snack and your whatever, just sit by and watch the kind of corruption that will be unfolded in coming weeks and months. Because Donald Trump just said now the same thing will be this one. Even the USAID, they have not even finished with them yet. First, they have about 10,000 staff. You can imagine what are these people doing? 10,000. Now they have cut off 93% of the workforce. I think they just left about 300, almost 300, 290 something. Now that is not all. They are going to audit. They will be auditing in fact, this USAID will be a tip of the iceberg compared to what they will discover with the defense. Oh my God!
That is another kettle of
this military industrial complex. That will be. Oh my God!
That's of corruption of unimaginable level.
I'm telling you. So they are going to.
They should audit the defense, the military industrial complex.
I'm telling you.
I don't think the government will even survive.
That's exactly what he said.
Full audit of that. The government will not survive.
He said it yesterday that they audit all this education, Ministry of Department of Education, Department of Defense, department, they will audit so many, almost all, if not all of them. So just sit by and just watch what will happen. The kind of corruption that they will unearth. This is you. It's not surprise to me because, like I said, um, I've noticed it long ago, and I told you that US is as corrupt as Nigeria. I've always told you that because I know what I'm saying when I said that. Anyway, Barrister, let's move to the next topic, perhaps the last one for today. Barrister, the same on the US and this time around Gaza. I don't know. You heard about what Donald Trump's proposal, what the offer he made, and when he made this offer, the entire world, everybody started as always. Trust. I don't know when people will learn that Donald Trump is like a prophet. He behaves like a prophet. First of all, he says what people don't. He says things that no one dare says. He goes to places where no one dare goes to. He brings up an issue, a topic that no one dares to bring it up. And when he brings it up, some people will call it, this man is senseless, he doesn't even know what he's doing. Some people will cry foul, this is unrealistic, this thing can never happen, he can never do this, can never. But at the end of the day, that thing that Donald Trump said, that place he went, the topic, what he actually brought to limelight, you would now realize that there is actually that same thing is actually viable. And the people who chastised him when he brought up that issue will be the one to actually say, to actually acknowledge that actually this thing is doable, or this thing is viable, or it has yielded results. Barrister,
the man is, for one thing, the man
he has he has a perfect instinct, very good instinct.
He is very intelligent and charismatic. When he talked about the Abraham Accords, nobody gave any shot.
Of course.
Who shut it down, just like they're shutting down the Gaza statement now. But in the 4 years that he was president, the Abraham Accords almost culminated in the final settlement. Almost. You see countries that were sworn enemies of Israel.
Yeah.
Sudan, Morocco, Saudi Arabia.
That is it. They are now allies.
All these countries came back, exchanged diplomats with Israel, had relationship with Israel. Nobody could have thought that this was possible. But I mean, at the time, Donald Trump set out to do these things. So he is somebody who goes where people are afraid to go. He dares. He goes to where people are afraid, are mightily afraid to go. And a courageous person like that always succeeds, one way or another, particularly when you have power behind you.
Yeah, that is
it. Power of the most powerful country in the world. He's going where people, even talking politically, otherwise he says things that even some within his own parties, they shake their head at first.
Yeah, of course.
Down to line up behind him. Because when the thing comes out of his mouth, it's so outlandish.
Honestly, yeah, that is. Look at this. Look at this. When he mentioned this Greenland, everybody had like Greenland and Panama Canal. Everybody had like, now is the same Panama? I don't know, Kevin. Now the thing is becoming viable right now. Look at when he mentioned Canada as the 51st state of the US. And people just say, wow, people cry for and shut it down. And even the prime minister and the politicians in Canada called him names for saying that. The same Trudeau now, 2 days ago, he was giving a public utterance or whatever, and he made mention said, okay, I'm paraphrasing now, that 54 states, Canada as 54 states, Well, I'm trying to see if I can remember the word but but what it means is that could be a reality. That I'm trying to interpret what he said. So he insinuated that it could be a reality.
Even the Panama Canal, I read somewhere where they have considered about 2 point something million per ship, not to charge US ships
Yes, they already
passing
that.
through.
Yes, but that is not
So
enough. Donald Trump said that for where that is not what is. He wants a takeover of that place. He wants China to leave.
so he is somebody who dares, who enters
Of
in
course,
Nigeria the evil forest that
I'm telling
everybody
you.
else is
I'm
afraid
telling you. I
to
love that
even
man.
go to the edges of it. He
I
enters, comes out alive.
honestly, I love that is my. You see, I have just as I have phobia for weak people. Honestly, I have very strong passion and strong love, strong affection for strong leaders. And that is why one of the things Putin call Putin whatever name he is or whatever, evil man. Or honestly, I love that man. Anybody leader that is strong, honestly, naturally, I'll just except the ones that are just naturally evil, just like Iran, who are just not. You are just doing things that are just inhuman. You are literally do things that are inhuman, killing people. You are out just to annihilate an entire race. That's my problem with them. People like that, I don't consider them as any evil people. Naturally, people who are wicked and evil, that is not strength. What I call strength is just like Putin. Putin, he kills people, but there's no doubt about that. And besides, which leader doesn't kill as long as you are president? But his own way of killing is he kills by, like what we mentioned, sometimes shedding blood by necessity, not because you derive pleasure in doing it. And that is just it. Unfortunately, that is Barrister. What's your take on that?
Yes, just like I said, he is somebody who dares to go where others are afraid to go, and it translates to applause and victory for him. That is the hallmark of a strong leader. He has convictions that he has come along with for as almost 30 years.
More
The
than
same
over 40 years. Consistent. He's been consistent.
that he has come along with, has been consistent with.
Yes.
That is a belief system. You believe that, yes, this is the right thing, and you go all out to do it. And most of these things are not injurious to the general population.
Of course
They
not.
are not targeted against the general
No.
population in the sense that propaganda is
They are
trying
beneficial to the
to
public.
portray it. How many politicians have held onto beliefs 30, 40 years ago? Look at
Nobody,
Joe
none.
Biden. Joe Biden has changed
Honestly.
his belief almost every 4 or 5 years. According to how he saw the wind of politics blowing, he will change. But Trump has been consistent for as long as people
Honestly.
have known
Honestly.
him, as long as he has come into the public space. That is the hallmark of a strong leader.
Yeah.
And he goes out not minding the forces against him. This issue of USAID, this issue of deportation, this issue of going auditing the defense industrial complex is a threat to his own life. It's a threat
Yes.
to his
Of
own
course.
survival.
Of course.
But he's going ahead
Yes.
with it.
Yeah.
He must realize that this thing threatens him, but he's notwithstanding,
Yeah.
he's
Of
going
course.
ahead with it. Those are characteristics of a strong leader. You believe in this thing, you know it's the right thing, you do, even if you are imperiled yourself, even if there's danger to yourself. Just like we contrasted with Jonathan.
Yes.
As soon as you see forces gathered against you, you surrender.
Yeah.
That is the opposite of a
Of
weak
Donald
leader.
Trump. Yeah, that's the opposite of Donald Trump, of course. That fortifies him rather. It rather fortifies him instead of chickening out like Jonathan. Anyway, that is just it. You just made a good point because obviously, although he knows it, he knows that he's a threat to both local and global establishments.
And
he has made himself a target of multiple assassins. So obviously, he knows that. Obviously, he will do the needful by fortifying his security apparatus. That is just the reality.
and when you are like that, the end result, what you achieve is respect and fear
Yeah,
from both
that
foes
is it.
and allies alike.
Correct. Yeah,
Mm.
that is
You
it.
are
They respect
respected,
it.
you are also feared. So that is the benefit of being having strength of character and being a strong leader.
Yeah, that is it. It is only someone like Donald Trump can actually that can take care that can take on the establishment. The establishment, this deep state. Honestly, they are so powerful. They are so powerful. You see, this deep state, they are unelected bureaucrats that they are faceless. You don't even know who they are, but very powerful. They bring down
Which
presidents.
which
No,
of
they were the ones who killed JF Kennedy now. I
and that
think,
is where I was going. Which of American president from Lyndon B. Johnson to Joe Biden has had the courage
honestly,
to declassify
honestly,
files of JF Kennedy,
JFK,
files of his
Martin Luther
brother,
King,
files of his brother, the Attorney General, and the files of Martin Luther King? Who has had the guts and the courage to do
honestly.
that? Even though they knew who had perpetrated all those murders,
Yes,
the fear of the CIA and
yeah,
the establishment coming
establishment.
after them kept them away from declassifying those files. But Donald Trump has done it.
I love that
He
man,
has gone
honestly.
and done it.
Yeah, he just takes the bull by the horn and nothing anyone can do about it. God will continue to protect him because he is fighting a just battle and a very selfless battle. The first time he ruled, after the first he spent 4 years as a president. Instead of his business flourishing, he lost money. He lost money, for God's sake. His wealth diminished.
And he has learned some lessons from the sabotage that the Democratic Party carried out against him in his first four
Yes,
years.
of course. So
So he is
everybody around him now
bringing
are
that
loyalists.
experience to his
Yes,
new term now.
they are all loyalists around him now. Loyalists. In fact, real dogged radical loyalists. That is just it. Anyway, Barrister, thank you so very much. Viewers, we've been having conversation with Barrister Austin Manta. And again, surprisingly, Barrister Manta keeps, anyway, it's no longer a surprise to me. I've known him for years to be this brilliant, especially when it comes to public analysis. Everything we discussed today, I never gave him a prior notice. I never told him what we are going to discuss. And for some time now, for months now, that's what we are. I don't. He does not know what we are discussing. We'll be discussing. We don't. I don't send him any topical, except when sometimes once in a while. Okay, when it's a legal issue, I ask him. I send him. Okay, I want us to discuss this specific legal matter. Other than that, honestly, we have not. I don't send. He doesn't usually know what I'll be discussing on this show. So I just come on this show and just the same time you people know about the topic is the same time he knows. So that is just it. Yet he just gives opinions as if there are issues or topics that I have discussed with him earlier. Well, Barrister, thank you so very much. Honestly, I really very few political or public or current affairs analysts will be able to do what you do.
It's my pleasure to be here always.
All right, viewers, see you again next time and remain blessed.